everyone, just wanted to offer some quick thoughts on boundaries around the holidays. And boundaries are internal and external limits that we impose on ourselves and others. A lot of boundaries have to do with needs. So a good way to identify boundaries is to say, what are my needs in a particular situation? How can I communicate that to a person? And then what are good positive consequences if they do well with that can happen? What are good negative consequences that can happen if they don't do well with that? So for example, if I'm going to a family party with a child, then to give parents guidelines for interacting with that child, I might say, hey, mom and dad, there have been times when I've come over with my child and I've noticed that you have kind of approached our child in some ways that have made them uncomfortable. So I was hoping in the future if you could, as opposed to maybe rushing into their space, maybe give them a little more space and ask them what they're interested in and let them guide the play. And if you do well with that, well, we're going to be able to stay longer on visits. We'll be able to see you more often. And if you don't do well with that, unfortunately, it's going to limit the amount of time that we have on visits, and it's going to limit the frequency of visits that we have. And so that's a great example of a boundary. In this case, it was a child care boundary at visits, and also consequences that can go along with that. As a person is communicating boundaries, the biggest thing they need to keep an eye on are internal boundaries and feelings of false guilt or anxiety that they might feel. And it's good to be aware of these parts of ourselves that can emerge when we communicate boundaries and to soothe them and calm them so we can be more effective. Later in the month, I'm going to be having a great conversation on boundaries with Veronica from CatholicNarcissistRecovery.com. We've started shooting that already. It is going to be a really, really good conversation. And in my Catholic Healing Series video on attachment wounds, I have all kinds of great things on boundaries, as well as my video on healing narcissistic personality disorder. So hopefully it was a very Merry Christmas for you all, and a very Merry Christmas, M-A-R-Y, and may it be a happy New Year and feast of Mary, Mother of God. God bless.